proud to be a Liberian, and I don't care what anybody go say. I will jump and sing and shout hooray, cause today is our Independence Day. Liberia, oh our day. Liberia, we are free. Liberia, no more war. Liberia, Liberia, our day. Liberia, we are free. Today is our day. Liberia now my country, now my motherland, land I be where them born me. That's why I started the hustling real bad. So if you don't know me, don't judge me. We don't want gunshots, we don't want po-po. All we want is equal rights and peace to make our dough. Hey, yeah. Liberians, you and me. Liberians, me and you. Let's live in harmony and peace. Who prevail? Do what is right and good and take our children back to school. Hard work and determination and we will fail. Yeah, economically, strategically, physically, we can make a difference automatically. Let's live in unity. All for one and one for all. I am proud to be a Liberian, and I don't care what anybody go say. I will jump and sing and shout hooray, cause today is our Independence Day. Liberia, oh our day. Liberia, we are free. Liberia, no more war. Liberia, Liberia, our day. Liberia, we are free. Cause today is our day. How long will you cry? Tell me how long? Rise up, forget about the past. It's dead and gone. Don't hate your brother. Don't you're capable of doing wrong. All we have to do is join hands and sing this song. We are free. We are free. Liberia, we are free. Forever we are free. One time we are. Oh man, baby, I need to get nara. Fire to mamba. Remember, Bombaga, are you ready? Bombaga, are you ready? Independence Day, jump and shout hooray. Screwface, wait for ya. I am proud to be a Liberian, and I don't care what anybody go say. I will jump and sing and shout hooray, cause today is our Independence Day. Liberia, oh our day. Liberia, we are free. Liberia, no more war. Liberia, Liberia, our day. Liberia, we are free. Cause today is our day. My people, today is your day. It's time to party. It's time to shake that stress up. Forget about the past. It's dead and gone. Now sing with me. Let's go. Say whoa, 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 yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. When I say screw, you say face, screw face, screw face. When I say screw, you say face, screw face, screw face. I tell you, Liberia, 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 Monrovia, 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 Monrovia. That's what I'm talking about. Liberia, it's your day. Jump up, hey, put on some, hey, put on some, hey, hey, put on some, hey, hey, put on some, hey. Now what's your about?
All right, Liberia, this is your day. This is the time. This week, July 26th, 6th of this month will be Liberia's 175th celebration, independence celebration. Liberians locally in Liberia and globally will be celebrating this joyous occasion come this week. And welcome to Talk TV Media Network. My name is Sam Gadu and my co-host, colleague, Joel Bimba. Joel, welcome to the show.
Yes, it's a pleasure. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well, man. You've been busy with the family and other things going down.
Yeah, been busy. A lot of issues. I get a lot of young kids, so it's like my weekend can be sometimes very crazy.
Yeah, very low young with a new haircut,
Yeah,
looking sharp right there.
yeah.
I got to
Thank you, right there.
right after this, you know. Yeah, folks, welcome to the show. Today we have a special guest who will be joining us, Mr. Emmanuel Weti, an advocate, the man who's been behind this dual citizenship for a very, very long time. It takes a lot of guts and a lot of heart to do what he's done, connecting with local chapters here in the U.S., ULA, Colossus, um, and also back engaging our lawmakers back in Liberia. He's going to be with us today discussing the dual citizenship in Liberia with what happened this week. I mean, for a very, very long time. It seems like things are moving in the right direction. So we'll be having Mr. Emmanuel Weti, who will be with us today. But before we bring our guest to the show today, um, what's the latest from your end when it comes to the political world, man? Things have been happening around, Liberia. Your observation with this whole dual citizenship, thing.
I followed the dual citizenship debate. I have not gotten a hold to actually see the actual copy of the law that it passed. But as a lawyer, one thing is wanting to enact a law. It's another thing subject to the interpretation of the judiciary. All right.
Right?
So particular concerns that I raised um, is the legislature trying to create a category of privileges. All right. So, for example, they make restrictions on the issue of the presidency. They make restrictions on the issue of some other jobs in government. Now, as a lawyer, I don't really agree with them. All right, and I believe that there will come a day when their action will be tested at the Supreme Court, and they may get it wrong. Now, one of the things um, you would take note is if you read Article 8 of the Constitution. Um, Article 8 of the Constitution, it creates, this is why let me just read it so you get and see what it says in Article 8.
Right?
Because I think a lot of the things that people do sometimes, and I agree, the lawmakers, all of them, many of them are not lawyers, and even those that are lawyers, they are usually compromised when they're doing these things. Now, Article 8 says the republic shall direct its policy towards ensuring for all citizens, without discrimination, opportunities for employment and livelihood under just and humane conditions, and towards promoting safety, health, and welfare facilities in employment. Are we there?
Yeah, I'm there. I'm following
Now,
you.
so when you restrict this position, then you automatically asking me as a lawyer to invoke that. You are creating discrimination. If you look at our constitution, even when it comes to the qualification to be president, there's nothing there about dual citizenship. It says citizens. So my argument as a lawyer is the intent of the Constitution is not to create category of citizenship where you get one group of citizens to enjoy privileges and another group of citizens not to enjoy privileges. So if you go to Article 52, I think it should be either Article 52, talk about the qualification of president. It's a natural born citizen. So for example, if you are in the US and children that I have in the US to become natural born Liberians. Sometimes people misunderstand the term natural born. Natural born doesn't necessarily mean you have to be born on Liberian soil. No, that's what people don't get. If you are born onto American or Liberian and parents who are living abroad, like my children, they are natural born Liberians. So you see the legal technicality there. So the legislature, they passed that law, but when it goes to real judicial interpretation, a lot of the things they did is actually going to be hammered very highly. So they are trying to create category of citizenship, and that's not the intent of the Constitution. That's my position.
Wow. Well, we got the advocate. But on the overall, though, looking at the framework to come this far, because we've seen the progress of a lot of um, other countries that has been able to adopt the dual citizenship. We've seen how much they have improved so much. What do you think on the overall? And Mr. Wetty, if you're ready, just give me a signal so I can bring you on the screen. Um, so on the overall, do you see it as a good thing or not?
Um, it's a good thing. At least they took some action now to be able to guarantee dual citizenship. But um, we're yet to see how that's going to impact the country and see how it's going to go. Or those, I'm one of those who have argued that the constitution, the provision on the dual citizenship, as per the constitution, the way it is designed, is it protect those of us that are natural born Liberians. Clearly, I believe there's no need even for no legislation. Those who are natural born Liberians, under the constitution as it is, I believe that no matter what solution they take anywhere around the world, they were still protected. The only challenge we face there is that provision has not yet gone to be tested to the Supreme Court. That's the only thing. And I believe if one day somebody had triggered it and tested at the Supreme Court, that would be a very clear thing. People who are natural born Liberians, they are protected whatsoever. You cannot exclude them in whatever means.
Joel, the way you're saying that, don't you think there are all these lawyers that we've had over the years in Liberia, as experienced as they are, that they understand that code that you read about, as to they could have tested that long time ago. But before you answer that, let's bring our guest on the show. So let's not keep him waiting too long. So that way, I will be able to engage him as well. Uh, Welcome to the show, Mr. Wetty. How are you?
Well, I'm fine. How you doing? I'm happy to be here, and thank you for the opportunity.
Welcome, welcome. We are delighted to have you. It's an honor. You're a busy man. You've been very busy, all up and down, up and down. And I believe your efforts are paying off, and the efforts of many of us and other people um, about this entire dual citizenship. But before we delve into that, for our viewing audience, tell us, who is Mr. Wetty, Manuel Wetty?
Well, Eminent Wet is the chairman of the All Liberia Conference on dual citizenship. This conference comprises of partners that include Colosua, your home chapter,
Yeah.
Liberia Advocacy for Change, Liberians in Ghana, Liberians in Europe, Liberians in Canada, Liberians in Australia. You got the Union of Liberian Association in the America. You got the European Liberian Association. You got IFLA and other partners. We are in this partnership. What actually happened is that in the year 2005, the ULA then President Arthur Watson began to advocate the issue of dual citizenship as president of the union. But ULA at the time was kind of concentrated on the issue of DED and TPS. You know, that season it was a season for immigration, so it didn't look right to not take care of your own children yet, and you advocating for dual citizenship. So that went on the radar. While we're talking about the then Senator Master, along with the Vice President Benny Warner and other elders, Reverend John Law, they formed their own organization, including Peter Wilson. They formed their own organization to advocate for dual citizenship. And they went to Liberia, but that didn't work out well. So Master called ULA and passed it on in 2007. But like I mentioned to you, ULA was not focusing on dual citizenship. We were focusing on immigration advocacy. On dual citizenship. We were focusing on advocacy. Immigration advocacy. Yeah. So that's what we were, advocating for dual citizenship. So then in 2012, under the administration of President Gates, along with the embassy of Liberia, we decided to bring all of the players and all the parties together at a conference when Ambassador Solonta was there. So we met in December of that year, and all of the group met together. Our sole focus was to give dual citizenship Liberia. We developed 4 paths, or you want to say 4 platform, how you want to call it, is okay. And the 4 paths, they are parallel to each other. We could have asked the president of Liberia to give an executive order to issue dual citizenship. We did that. President said he looked at us and said that she was not going to do it. It was not the right way to do it.
Right.
We went to a referendum, and the referendum, in 2020, we didn't meet the constitutional requirement for 2-tier. So we got executive order, we got referendum. We got to challenge the law at the Supreme Court, and as you know, our man T. Jallo was able to go to the Supreme Court, and in March of 2017, and on December 23rd, 2019, the Supreme Court ruled in his favor. Now, the case that Jallo took to the court was due process, because the alien and nationality law at the time says that if you naturalize, if you voted in another country, if you took oath in another country, you automatically now a Liberian. And our constitution requires a due process. So Jallo went to the Supreme Court and said, look, I will not give you a due process in this case. I just so the Supreme Court agreed with him. So December 23rd, 2000, the Supreme Court ruled in his favor. But that didn't solve the problem with dual citizenship. The next step, as I mentioned, we had 3 steps: executive order, referendum,
Right.
went to the Supreme Court. Then the other was to go through the legislature to see if they could repeal the 1974 Alien and Nationality Law of Liberia. Now, let me say for the record that our constitution is very silent on the issue of dual citizenship. You can argue that it has something about dual citizenship, but we can argue that part, and maybe only the Supreme Court can interpret that. But for the most part, it's very silent on dual citizenship. So in 1974, if I start in 1973, that the lawmakers decided to repeal the alien law of 1956. So that's where it started from. So when they did that in 1973, they changed the law, which is section 22.1 and 22.2. You can go in there and see. For the most part, that alien and nationality law that was done in 1973, 1974, it mentioned that if you naturalize in another country, if you fought war in another country, if you voted in another country, and if you renounce your Liberian citizenship, those 4 conditions automatically, I want to emphasize, automatically make you not to be a Liberian. So it's that alien and nationality law that have been going on for years. That when you are naturalized a citizen, so you are not Liberian. So that law has been going on, and that's the law that was repealed by the lawmakers on July 19, 2022.
So fast track. For time's sake. Now that it's passed, what has been some of your efforts and those who have worked along with you? I know you mentioned Colossus, EULA, but they back and forth, the sacrifices, the ups and downs, the challenges that you had to face. Update for our viewing audience.
Well, we want to open a state and state for the record. I want to thank President George Manawia, who was very instrumental in making this happen through the offices of his legal counsel, Councilor Ajibor Bonar, They made it happen. And on the Senate side, there are a lot of senators that supported us. And we, we'll call some name, but it doesn't mean that the other, if we don't call your name, you are not there. The pro tem of the Senate, our chair, Senator Vani Sherman, Senator Darius Dana, Senator Milton Tiaje, Senator Kwame Wise. These are the people that were on the Senate side that were really, really supporting us. On the House side, we want to give salute to Akaris Gray, Honorable Akaris Gray, the Deputy Speaker, Kofa, and also the Chairman of the Judicial Committee, Kenan Wasso. These people on the House side really supported us. Also, we have ordinary Liberians, that gave them 1 cent, 2 cents. We have ordinary supporters that donated, that sympathizer, friends who believe in the cause, and they're the one made the ordinary sacrifice. We have people traveling across the globe, from Europe, from Australia, from Ghana, everywhere, going to Liberia every year, advocating for this. This is not, advocacy is not an event, it's a process. We started this in 2012. And today we are here that the president have signed this into law. So I want to say thank you to everybody that supported us in this process. If I have the call name, I will not be able to say the reason why I'm on the show. But thank you, everybody, and thanks for your support.
Joel.
Yeah.
Come in.
I appreciate the step they took. It was a good action. Although I still had a lot of this legal disagreements with the restrictions they have in the law there. Like I told you, there are several issues there, several legal issues. Now you made one point, and one of the points you made was having other lawyers saw this, and so one of the things before cases can go to court, you must have standing. Standing means there must be a situation that happened directly to you in simple English, and you take it to court. So you saw in the case of Arvin T. Jallo, he was denied his passport, so he has standing to go to the Supreme Court. So until you can have a standing, it doesn't go to the court. So that's one of the issues there with law. So when the legislature make law and that law has not yet been tested at the Supreme Court, meaning somebody has not really have a case where they have to take it to the Supreme Court, then some people will have a lot of interpretation of that law. But when that law goes to Supreme Court and the Supreme Court analyze and expound on that law, then the right interpretation is put into play. There are several issues I have. Number one, does the legislature have legal authority over citizenship? Now, one of the mistakes I think people are making here, if you read that article, for example, Article 27C, it says the legislature shall, adhering to the above standard, prescribe such other qualification criteria for the procedure by which naturalization may be obtained. That clause is giving the legislature power over people who are not Liberian citizens and they want to become citizens. That clause does not give the legislature power over you and I who are already Liberian citizens. So that one of the legal issues there I know that will come out of the Supreme Court in the future. So technically, when the legislature is making laws, they should be making laws for people who are foreigners, not people who already have citizenship, natural born like you, your ma and pa are already citizens. They have no authority. They have no legal authority. That's one of my legal arguments that I have with the
Counselor?
Yeah.
Can I address you on that?
Yeah.
Let me hear you right. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm not hearing.
Yeah.
You are saying that the Constitution does not give the lawmaker to define citizenship or do anything with citizenship. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, there's a difference between citizenship and naturalization.
Okay, so
there's a difference.
You are
so
saying
they have power. They have power over naturalization, and naturalization means you're not Liberian citizen and you want to be Liberian citizen.
Okay, so you are saying the Constitution doesn't say that, doesn't give the lawmaker the power. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, over people who are Liberians, no.
Okay, so you that's what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay, Council, let me take you to Article 29 of the Constitution.
Yeah.
Article 20. In fact, it's Article 34 of the Constitution, Section 8 of the Constitution. Article 34 of the Constitution define the legislative power.
Mm-hmm.
So it says the legislature should have the power to establish laws for citizenship, naturalization, and residence. It is absolutely clear in the Constitution.
Yeah.
I can't counsel. So
Yeah.
let all establish that.
Yeah.
That the lawmakers, the legislature has the constitutional right
Mm-hmm.
to establish laws for citizenship.
Mm-hmm.
They did not say natural born. They say what? For what?
Yeah, citizenship.
Then command, they have the right to establish law for natural what?
Station. Yeah.
And resident. So I just want to establish that constitutionally,
Mm-hmm.
the lawmaker has the right to define the citizenship of Liberia.
Yeah. So yeah, here's my argument. My argument is premised on the fact that you already have citizenship. That's the point. You already have citizenship. You are a Liberian citizen. Now they are trying to put you in another category of citizenship. So the question is, do they have the power to put you in another category of citizenship? That's the point.
What? Yeah, but my point of view is that it's the constitutional duty to define citizenship. That's what I want to make to you.
Yeah.
So, I think what I see is Joel.
Yeah.
So
He's saying when it comes to laws of the land, citizenship, the legislature has the power to handle that part of.
yeah, they have the power. That's what this is.
Because when you look at laws, and as well as you guys, the judiciary, as in a single case wherein someone has to challenge, their constitutional right.
Yes.
Right. So
yes.
Because
but Mr. Warty, that is going to come up someday in the future, especially with those restrictions and how they call it, the way they enacted the law. So that's going to come up in the future.
Can you tell us what is the law? What are the restrictions? Can you tell us?
For example, they have restrictions on
the law.
So for example, here is the point I'm trying to make here.
No.
You are already a citizen. If you are a Liberian, a natural born citizen of Liberia.
Let have our audience understand this.
Yeah.
There is an issue with the law, there's an issue with the restriction. So
potential legal issues. So let me be clear. So when I come in, Mr. Woti, now they have passed the law, all right, and they have passed the law. One of the things I'm looking at the interpretation in the future.
No. Let that get it. You see, there are a lot of people listening to our case here. They want to be on the process. You think there are restrictions that make us go into another club, but I want you to tell us what the law they passed. Have you seen the law? Have you read the law?
Yeah, I have gone through some of the provisions. I have not really gone through it comprehensively, except those few restrictions and whatever.
You can say that you don't know the restrictions, do you?
I know some of the restrictions.
What are those?
For example, there's a restrictions on some ministerial positions. For example, they talk about Ministry of Defense. They talk about Ministry of what else again? There were some agencies that they listed. They make some restrictions there in terms of what rights you have. And then another issue is one of the major issues I'm having, Mr. Woti, and maybe you still don't get this, is that those who are natural born Liberian citizens with mother and father already citizens of Liberia when they were born, they should not be included into all of these arrangements that the legislature are doing. And this is where my point is.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I think that's where my point is.
Let me say for the record.
Yeah.
I really appreciate you bringing the topic up, because I want the thing that we all talk about issue of restriction. Now, let me say it that the last document that I read, and I want to say that I read the last, because these legislative processes, what you read may not be what is being signed in the law. So I want to say for the record, what I read, the Minister of Defense, the Minister of Finance, the Central Bank, as a director of the Central Bank, and elected officers, that if you have dual nationalities, if you want to keep your dual citizenship, your multi-citizenship, for now, you cannot hold those positions. However, if you so desire to be Minister of Finance, you can relinquish your other citizenship.
One of the other.
Yeah, you can relinquish your other citizenship and keep your Liberian citizenship and run. Now, you know, let me say, that we have Liberian kids who are doctors, nurses, social workers, engineers. They never restricted them. They're not restricted on the position. You know, the next generation of the entrepreneur, they not restricted them. They're like a finance minister. We are 5 million. Only one of us can be finance minister to work at the will and pleasure of the president.
But don't you even see it as a progress so far where it's come from?
Yes. It's a tremendous progress. Look, imagine the late Manson with Vice President Wonder, who's in your city, coming down to Reverend Lord. This saddest thing, in 2007, we started 2005 without success. They came 2007. They didn't make it. We regrouped in 2012. Since 2012, this is our first progress. So look, we believe that it's an effort in the right direction. And want to tell President, we are thank you and the leadership of the House and Senate Council, Ajiba Bona, and everybody that supported us. You know, Council, you said it right. Look, laws are evolving. They are not static. You know, this is the beginning. Let us work with what we have. The next generation can pick it up.
Right.
And Moses didn't enter the promised land with the children of Israel. He took Egypt. The next generation can pick up. If you believe the law is not going to court and modify it, you can go to court that you mentioned. That's your right. If you see this law is not for you, go to court. And the Supreme Court will hear you. If you see it's not right, and guess what happened? With dual citizenship now, you have the right to vote in Liberia. That's a power that you never had before. A woman, you know, before that, a Liberian woman doesn't have the right to pass a citizenship over to a child. A child that is born by a Liberian woman and the father is now a Liberian, that child is now a Liberian. This law make it possible that all child that's born, so long that child get 0.00% of a Liberian blood, that child is a Liberian.
Seems like Mr. Wetty is technical.
You know, and you are entitled to land. You are entitled to be very free. You can go to Liberia. You don't have to hide. You know, you don't have to hide. Legally, you are protected by the laws of the land.
Right. Well, that's I think too, personally, and that's what we do on the show at Top TV, since we are an independent network. Once the government is doing good, we give them the kudos. If there are things we see they are not doing right, they're not following the right path, we call them to light as well as an independent network. So this is why we bring independent minds and discuss the issues that concerns Liberians independently, as in just one-sided. And that's why you're here today. One would say, Mr. Wetty, your involvement with EULA, Colossus, and all the rest of the organizations that you name. Now that this has it's gotten to a point where you realize, and many of us have realized, that some improvement has been done. What word do you have for these organizations that have, pushed you and the many others that have traveled back and forth?
We want to say thank you to Colossus, honor the leadership of our dear brother and friend, Willie Camara. Kolosua have been, as a matter of fact, Kolosua is a founding member of the All Liberian Conference on Dual Citizenship. Kolosua was there in 2012 at the conference that funded this thing. So we want to express our thanks in the not only that, Kolosua members travel to Liberia. Travel and his family, they travel to Liberia for the conference. They travel to Liberia to advocate. Kolosua not only gave financial support, they provide him. Kolosua delegation left here when Liberia to advocate. So we want to say thank you to Kolosua for the kind of work they have done under the leadership of our dear brother and friend Willie Camara. Today, we have dual citizenship in Liberia because of Kolosua effort along under the leadership of Willie Camara that made it happen. It's a very thing that is very important that Kolosua being on that side, conniving or collaborating with other people, make this thing to happen, and together we can work together and make things better. Kolosua was not on the fence. Kolosua was inside. Kolosua was part of this thing from the beginning and to the very end of this whole thing. We have Eula. Eula and Joe have championed this thing from the very beginning, brought all the resources, made things available. I want to say thank you to the leadership of Eula, honor our dynamic president, Shehu Kamara. Shehu Kamara traveled to Liberia. You know, this is a general who went on the field to say, look, I want to see what's going on. He went to Liberia and he participated in the advocacy. You have the Liberian Federation, European Liberian Social Federation, IFLAC, that involved. I got a co-chairman, what his name is, Kingston Willett, you know, and under the leadership of Francis Mayenga, who all put their resources together to make this thing happen. They travel Liberia on and on. You come to Liberia Advocacy for Change. You know, there's a group in New York, Comfort Atoka and her group. They put their time together and everything to make sure in fact, Comfort Atoka and her delegation went to Liberia to advocate for it. And I want to say thank you to this organization. We got Liberians in Canada. We got Liberians from Ghana. The Liberian delegation from Ghana are extremely well on the ground. We also want to say thanks to Liberians in Australia, you know, for the kind of support that we got from them. And all the individual other people that make the 1 cent, 2 cent financial and moral contribution. And to everybody, I know I'm not, if I miss anybody, I'm very sorry. And all I want to say again.
Yeah, you're going to be blamed. A lot of people blame you.
Yeah, and only
President, we are really champion this thing. Last Friday, President, we have sent his legal advisor to the Capitol building to make sure that he work with all the parties. Now, this is what happened in November, and it's good that people know the whole history. In November, the House repealed the law, passed a dual citizenship bill. That bill never had no restriction on it. There was no restriction. The bill that was sponsored under the championship of Karas Gray, Fanati Kofa, and Kenneth Wasso had no restriction.
Okay.
The Senate passed their version of the same bill, and their version had restrictions. So since, and the council is there, you can correct me, since the House version and the Senate version are not the same, the law required them to conference to meet and iron up their differences. And for the record, that was not an easy thing because one group wanted restriction and another group said there's no restriction.
Right.
President, we are through the offices of his legal counsel, Counsel Ajiba Bona, make the group to meet to iron up their differences and come up with one bill, and that's how they were able to do it. And on July the 19th, both chamber, the House and Senate, voted to pass this law. Look, let's be honest. We are not going to claim that it's the best of the best.
Right.
We want to thank our people that this is a stepping stone in the right direction. And if you feel that it's not in your interest, look, Liberia is a country of law. Jacob Koliba went to the Supreme Court, he won. Joseph Brecker won the Supreme Court, he won. Our Cummings won the Supreme Court, he won. Jado won the Supreme Court, he won. So if you believe that this law, you go to the court. Just go to the court. Express yourself. Get a team of legal advisors, go to the court. You know, but appreciate what happened. Appreciate the sacrifice they put in for those who made. The
What?
1 cent and 2 cents they donated, appreciate that. Today, our children and ourselves can go to Liberia and know that I am a Liberian. It will never change. Once a Liberian, always a Liberian. That's a progress in the right direction.
Yeah, to be frank with you, I think so. So like me, I appreciate the law, and some of the issues I just raised as potential legal issues.
That's
So
correct.
it's like I'm looking at the law. I'm looking at what are some of the legal issues that are going to be coming in the next, maybe the day hit the Supreme Court. Almost like what happened with Alvin T. Gillo. Now, without Alvin case, we wouldn't have known at the time that they had to call it. That law that was made by the legislature at that time, we wouldn't have known that it was illegal.
That's correct. You're right.
As far as we're concerned,
Yeah.
it was right. And I'm very sure at that time there were lawyers who all had, who raised some of the potential legal arguments. So as a lawyer, all I'm looking at the potential legal issues that they hit the Supreme Court. But to be frank with you, I appreciate the fact the step they take, because at least it gave us a little certainty. There's a certainty now.
Yes.
A well-defined certainty. That's one thing I can talk about. Yeah, there's a certainty. Yeah. So now we expect that they should give us not lesser per se. Those who are Liberian citizens, they can't get a lesser, they can't get a, how to call it. They no longer visa again. They should be able to have their Liberian book, travel wherever they want, and come out of the country wherever they want. We hope to see those policies being effected.
Yeah, and Council, we are on the same line on this one. We all appreciate everything. We have our own speculation. We do not have the authority to define what actually that is. You know, what the law will be, what the code will be. That one will do it with the government. You know, and Council, you are absolutely right that there's a stepping stone. We can improve on it, and we can go on from there. But at least it gave us what the council calls certainty.
Yeah, certainty.
Always a Liberian. We are certain. There is no doubt that if a Liberian mother born a child in Korea, that child is not Liberian. The child is automatically a Liberian at the time of birth. They don't have to go through anything. So yes, Council, that certainty is there that we are Liberians.
Exactly so.
Yes.
So let me ask you both. The perception of the people, citizens, most people of Liberia, and which kind of became part of the huddle in a fight for this, right? Mr. Wati asked, and if we allow the dual citizenship, these people are going to come and take our jobs, and get in positions wherein, they cannot get. And so it became a stalemate. How now do you address issues like that with those kind of perceptions of people like that?
That sentiment was in 10, 15 years ago. Liberians were afraid, the people will come take our job. And I tell you, when I went to Liberia 2013, we had a talk show. And before me, other people went. It was all negative. We don't want dual citizenship. And let me say for the record, Prince Johnson, the senator from Nima County, said that there will be no dual citizenship so long he's in the Senate. He said it.
It happened on his watch.
Guess what happened on the 19th of July?
He voted.
He voted yes. So you see, Liberians now are beginning to realize that, because, people begin to say, the dual citizenship is for white people. They want to, those that didn't like us, they were very effective in confusing the poor mind. Oh, you people come and take your job. Oh, you people come and take this and put that. But we had a red message or messages that look, the dual citizenship is for natural born Liberians. We are talking about Koli that were born in Lofa.
Right.
We're talking about Say that were born in Nima. We're talking about Tapet that were born in Sano.
Tambalemi, born from Lofa County.
These are the people we're talking about, and on and on. And the Liberian people begin to understand, okay, these guys are talking about we're talking about us. Talking about us. And gradually, guess what happened? That thing began to go away. It evaporated. It just went away. We got 25 votes for the Liberian Senate. What did I say? 25. We got 20 votes of those that were in the session in the House. You can't beat that.
Right.
But the mindset have changed, and Liberians now are embracing their brothers and their sisters, the nieces, the nephews, the cousins from the diaspora to come home and participate in the oil development of the country.
Well, so part of it is part of that development where I was going to take you guys, as in the case of Ghana, right? You see how developed Ghana is because when they established that dual citizenship, people have now the fortitude and the confidence. I'm going back home with my money, with my financial contacts, you know, with businesses to develop, to create job employment as well. Don't you see that, you know, that with the passage of this dual citizenship as a huge boost to the economic system?
Yeah. Let me go back to the council that is here. He said what the law have established is what? Certainty. That is the key to this law. So with the level of high certainty, the investment will flow. People say that I'm a Liberian, I'm always a Liberian, I am a Liberian, my children are Liberian. So I'm going to invest in my motherland. There is no say, oh, I'm a citizen or I'm not a citizen. That is off. It's clear out. That certainty is there. And like Ghana, Nigeria, Sierra Leone, it is our hope that Liberians will return home and invest in the country, knowing that the law protects them. They are a Liberian.
Right.
You can vote. You have the power to vote.
I think that's a very good point. And one of the things I've been looking at, you know, unlike like in other places when they make any kind of laws, they usually do what they call they do an analysis to look at the economic impact of the law. They have those people who can do the cents and dollars and, you know, break it down for you. But on the overall, the impact of the law will not be in the immediate. All right, it may not be in the immediate because this is not a small law. This is a law that we have a long track over time, incrementally. You're going to see the law, and not just okay, the next year or but over the period of time, it's going to have a bigger impact on the country. Because there are some Liberians, you know, abroad who want to go back, but that could be their worry. That one of their worry they have, you know. So now they say, okay, but then I don't have a problem. I think I will just buy, you know, I can invest over there. I can do this over there, you know. I will have no fear, you know.
All right, folks, there you have it. We have on our show today the eminent man himself, Manuel Wati, the man who's fought. And so many of you are ULAC, Osus, Europe, wherever you are, for dual citizenship in Liberia. In whatever way you have done, so be it. Liberia is now a dual citizenship country, and as legal as on the books. We will take a quick break and come right back because time is of the essence. We probably have about 30 minutes to be out of here. It's an hour show, and then try to wrap up. As Liberia is approaching our 175th independence anniversary. So that's all we're gonna do. A little bit of music.
Mimi, Agege, Anyanya, Make us do there, Kayanya, Katutui, Kamimi, Men Casidodia, Kayanya, Katutui, Kamimi, Bangoya Boyen, Aguya Yasano, Bangoya Boya,
Abuya boye,
Bangoya Boye, ye, Aguya Yasano, Bangoya Boya,
abuya boye,
Aguyaye,
sa,
Aguyaye,
siyo,
Aguyaye,
sa,
Aguyaye,
sa,
Aguyaye,
siyo,
Aguyaye.
sa.
They don't mind, you don't get in yet. Guess that I pay y'all. Men who I'm again, I'm like, what do give us some more? Yeah, my way.
All right. Welcome to the show, Talk TV Media Network.
Boss, can I have a quick question?
Yeah,
Can I have this? Can you put a link on my page?
this link.
No, you're on Facebook, right? This is
Yeah,
live.
we are on Facebook. We are on Facebook. I will send you the link.
Okay, sir.
TV Media Network. I'll send you the link right now. Yeah, to our viewing audience, man, happy 26. My 26 on you. It's a Wesley. My
Yeah.
26 on you too.
Yeah, my friends know you, Chief.
My big brother, right there. They on you. I'm coming over there for it. Joel too. You must get it and send it. You know. So with 175 years of independence.
Before you go any further, let me make a correction on the European name. It's IFLA, European Liberian Federation Association.
Different. Okay.
Yeah, IFLA, that's the name. Yeah, that's where the co-chair is coming from, or Kingston with it.
Thank you for that correction. Thank you so much. So I'm going back to the 175th independence celebration. What is your take as a country? 175 years of independence, man. We've seen other countries just 50, others just 40, just 75, and we've seen the massive improvement in development that has taken place over the years. What is wrong with us, with Liberia?
Well, I try my best not to get involved in the politics in Liberia because, like I mentioned, since 2012, I've been trying to advocate for citizenship. Still, I work in the farm line.
I follow your articles. I read out some of your articles.
Yeah, but despite the fact I don't want to say much, I said it privately, and I said as a friend. I think the leadership of President Eddie Johnson said he didn't do well for us. That's my personal belief. I really think after the war, the international community wrote all our debts, declared everything up, and we were at zero. And when President said leaving, she left over more. And I didn't see new hospital, new schools being developed. I didn't see hospital in Bentor, in Carisburg. I didn't see something in Sano, in Nima, in Lofa, in Bassa, in Cape Man. I mean, the amount of money that President said he received for education and health, these things are being developed. The University of Liberia, only in Montserrat County, it will not spread around. I believe that considering the international support that President Ali Johnson had, we are being better off. That's what I believe. And
so let me play the devil advocate here. Let me play the devil advocate here. So here's my question to you. My question to you here is, do you really think the money that you heard that it gave to Liberia, do you think it directly went to the Liberian government? Or do you think that money include money that UN and those other NGOs that were in there were just running by themselves? So usually people just sum it up to believe that the Liberian government got that huge amount of money. What is your thought about that?
My thought, you are right. When international communities send money, that money includes expenses. That's all right. No problem.
Yes.
Yeah. I have no issue with that. But you see, look, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf had a credential internationally. And Ellen Johnson Sirleaf who had built a hospital. Ellen Johnson who had expanded the educational system across the country. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf had all the resources to do a lot of things. I tell you an example, the airport that was built by President Sirleaf. Do you know there's no place to meet your guests? You stand outside. If it rains, you're on your own. There's no parking lot. There's no mall. If you enter the place, when your things come, they're not a fight. I'm just saying that from my own perspective, I could be wrong, that the facility and the resources that Ellen Johnson Sirleaf have, if she have done well, if she have that country, we would not be the one we are today. That's my take.
What do you think about those who think that the issue with Ellen was the fact that she did not manage the transition well? And the issue is that some people believe that if we had as another president coming into play who came with the same energy that she took on when she took during her first term, there are some people who believe that we'll have a different outcome. But because we did not take another president who had the energy like she had in her first term, that's why we're having more problems. What do you think about that?
All right, so let's say we have this president and we claim the president is doing well. The question was to ask ourselves, did Ellen leave University of Liberia in Sano, in Lofa, in Nima, in Grangile, in Bonkante, in Cape Man, in Magibi, and then new president came and destroyed it? Are we seeing that Ellen built hospitals in the rural county and then new president came and destroyed it? So what did Ellen leave? You know,
and you know, to make it my own 1-2-1-2, my grandpa said. If you look at the influx, because Liberia had just come from 14, 50 years of civil war crisis, and a lot of humanitarian organizations and money-wise came into the country, and also the Ebola. No, not Ebola. What's the other pandemic that took place? Was that Ebola? Yeah, Ebola. It was Ebola. There was another heavy weight of money, you know, humanitarian assistance that came into the country as well. But it's yet to be seen. One of my saddest moments is healthcare, seeing JFK as it is, because I've been there many times. Every time I go to Liberia, and it's sad to see JFK and the University of Liberia. You know, that should have been decentralized as well, just like you mentioned. That's my take on that.
But what do you think about the community colleges that were established? Wasn't that a form of decentralization? Because those community colleges are connected to the University of Liberia. That's my understanding.
Well, they were encouraged. They were encouraged, you know, and that's you see, the thing is that yes, I mean, you know, we can say it was a progress in the right direction. But how about the primary schools? You know, how about the foundation?
Right.
You know, I mean, we can. I tell you the truth, it's a tough thing. You know, it's a tough thing. But for me, I would say for the record that I hold Ellen responsible for our current structure in Liberia today. I could be wrong. You know, you have other people may say other things, but I mean, my expectation of Ellen was very high, and considering Ellen will come to. Do you know how many times Ellen have come to Washington D.C.? Ellen dressed the Congress, John Congress of the United States. What did we get? Ellen visited the White House on many and several occasions. What can we show? What can the child in the village ambassador show? You know, and people come, you can't go to the White House. What does it mean? What actually it means? Oh, you know, I mean,
What?
where to go, my brother?
What is the? I know it's hard. It's about time for us to let you go. But when I have you on these shows, you know, sometimes I know I'm going to have to bring you back because your political insight is tricky, to say the least. With CPP 4, and the collaboration parties and the opposition versus the current led government. When you look at what just transpired in Lofa, going forward 2023, when it comes to election, especially in my questions going to you, Mr. Wetty, for the National Election Commission, there are foul cries uh, as you know from the opposition side, and the ruling party is happy. The appointees are ruling party, appointees. What is your perception? What is your hope? How do you see the Liberia Election Commission? What do you anticipate of them come 2023?
2023, I expect a free, fair, and transparent election. That's what I expect. I can say that I do think, and I could be wrong, this is not. I don't want somebody to say, "Oh, you made a statement, so you can't do this in Liberia, you can't do that in Liberia." But with the current circumstances as it is now, it could change tomorrow. So I want to be very, very careful. Considering everything that's happening, I think President Weah will be re-elected, for the second time. That's my thing. Considering what is happening right now.
Like what? Give us why do you do
Let's
that?
look at this way. First, the very first thing is that let's count the comments. Cummings have never stood with his generals on the field. Go to Cape Mount. Cummings never supported his candidate in Cape Mount. Go to Nima Kande, Ambassador Fononte, who was the vice president candidate on the Cummings. Cummings could not guarantee him being on CPP ticket, for am I right? Is that no, for bump, sorry.
Bomb.
Cummings not guarantee to be on the ticket for bump. Look at Nima. Look at this young, progressive, energetic Liberian. Wumbo, I don't pronounce his name well. This guy has supported Cummings from the genesis of time. And he was supposed to be on the ticket for CPP. And something happened, and they took Edith Gonglo. Cummings never stood by that ball. Cummings have never stood by people that stood by him. And that's the problem that he got. So right now, he went to the CPP, and he made it very clear. Cummings was very open that the only job that he wants in the Republic of Liberia is to be president.
President, yes.
Period. It was no secret. It was nothing. He made it very clear. And others said, look, you can't do that. So when you go into a collaboration with other high powers, and you say, look, this is the card that I have, and this is the only card, I'm not going to change it, it's not going to work. If Cummings have sat down and let the process produce the Senate Bureau or CPP, he established himself as the sole person. The next thing is that Ome Boyka, he may have some, he doesn't have the resources. He doesn't have the money. Politics require resources and logistics.
Get the money.
Look at the Lofa election. I mean, let's be honest and frank, Liberian people. Do you expect the opposition to babysit for you when you're not there? Is that what you're saying? They are voting booth. They are things. We're not saying it's wrong, but who gonna represent you? You think I go to represent my candidate? You not there. I should babysit you? Are you kidding me? And you want to come up and say this and that? You should have the money. You should have the structure. You have the platform for election. If you cannot afford the money, the platform and the structure for election in Lofa, my brother, just leave it.
Yeah. So why one would say this is an awakening call? He has the character, and now all he needs is the money. And once when they're collaborating for other political parties, that may come together like that, like we hearing. There are things in the works, in the making, to collaborate for on the side of the opposition. Don't you think that Lofa is an example that looking at that, this is national election now. That was just a senatorial county election, but national election that they would do differently.
Look, I tell you one thing. The CPP, I don't think the chronic attributes of the CPP were very honest. So when it grew up, those parts went away. The thing with CPP was very simple. Term of framework document. That. But Liberians, including myself, we always have something on our sleeves. Always have a second thought. You go to a committee meeting, somebody will not pay their dues, but they want everything to be in their favor.
Right?
They will not come to a meeting, they'll discuss something. When they come there, they're going to go back. It will not work.
Can't work. You're right.
Liberia have reached the place, whether it's in your community, whether it's in your church, whether it's everywhere, you will be on the table on that day and get your own share of the food. You don't get it, my brother, you're out. You can come back and put your PhD done. Liberia don't have time for that. They don't have time for that thing. Now, I tell you the frank truth that they accepted. Go ahead, Council. You want to say something?
Yeah, I was just on the bump about your statement.
No, you go ahead, Council.
Yeah, so I think the last time we talked about this thing last time, and I talked about the money factor, and he's repeating the money factor again. And another thing, like a major point that when I told people who may not accept it, the opposition, I don't see humbleness. Humbleness, you have to be humble. I don't see humbleness in the opposition. Jowia have all of his challenges and problems, and I'm a member of the CDC. But one of the things that stand out with Jowia is his humbleness to compromise and make President move. Cummins and Bwakai, I'm not seeing it there. And those are the major stumbling blocks. They're not going to go anywhere. That's what I see.
And I agree. I agree with you. Now look, people say, "Oh, Joe, we are dancing." Let me tell you something. Politics is just like a business. You got to cater to the needs of your customers.
Yeah.
What you do to get your customer come to your business, that's what you do. In politics, it's the same. What you cater to the need of your base or basis. So I just want to say that I try not to be involved in politics. I know you say, "Oh, Joe, we are signing the Citizenship bill."
I'm going to be bringing you by here for politics.
No. I think your points for me, I hold the same view. The CPP from one, I've said a lot of things almost similar to that. You can see the weaknesses ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Kumi cannot win alone. No, he can't win Jowia alone.
No.
Neither Bwaka can win Jowia alone. That's not practical. We know that.
But Jowia will win in the first round.
Yeah,
They don't have the platform. They don't have the structure.
Yeah.
They don't have it. So I know people say, "Well, Jowia sign your dual citizenship bill that you've been fighting over there, so you can say what you want to say."
I'm about to say that, though.
No, I mean I know that's why people say, because I try to avoid myself on new politics. I don't like, I'm an IT professional, and that's what I've been doing. And it's just by mistake I'm in this thing. But my career is to go to Liberia and
You are answering the call to God's call
and help our people. Politics is not my calling, and I don't care. Some people say, "Well, because you don't care about politics, that's why you want a restriction," because all kinds of things. So I don't mind. You can say what you want to say. I'm an IT professional. I'm a professional. I want to go back to the university and try to teach. God willing, I'll be retiring December 31st, and from the state of Ohio after working 30 years.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I return home and teach at university in my last years. Play my part and see. Politics is not. I don't see myself. I don't. I've been in the school student politics for a very long time, but I play my part, and it's about time that I lead the stage and let the young people or the next generation for the, like I always say, Moses did not enter the promised land with the children of Israel. But you cannot write the history of the children of Israel going to the promised land without mentioning the name Moses. So,
Thank you. Well said. This is a Wetty.
Thank you, Mr. Whitey. It's interesting working with you. Thank you.
Welcome. And we are more than glad to have you back whenever you have time.
Anytime for you, I do. But my closing, I want to say thanks to Kolosua under the leadership of Willie Kamara, and thanks to all the guys in Kolosua that have been supporting us, including all of our sponsors. I mentioned the name before, but this one particular for Kolosua, the home base, and you guys play a vital and an important role. Today, you can look in the chat of somebody and say that because of the work of Kolosua, we have dual citizenship. This is not a wetty camp. This is not a wetty ship. This is for every one of us. We put our money in and our time, and those that even criticize us. Counselor, if you say that in advocacy, your critic are one of your best friends. They correct you. They correct you. I mean, you believe it or not, we go to a meeting and concentrate on what did they say, what are we doing wrong. So we welcome all these people. It's a very good thing. We take our strength from those that criticize us. So thank you all, Kolosua. May God bless your organization, and may God bless Liberia as we celebrate our Independence Day. And God bless the leadership and everybody, and your platform, and our council. Council, thank you very much for your insight. Thank you very much for your support. May God bless everyone of us. May God bless your family. And just thank you all.
Happy Independence Day to you.
Okay.
Happy Independence Day to you.
Happy Independence. My friends, you, G.
I will. Thank you. Folks, there you have it. Joel, man? That was good. That was fascinating.
Wonderful, yeah.
Yeah, what's your final statement before we take?
My final statement would be it's a great thing. The dual citizenship is a great thing, irrespective of the potential legal issues that may arise in the future. I think it's a great thing for the country, and that we should not just want to be citizens, but we should all make sure we are making tangible contributions to Liberia. Liberia is all we have. Thank you.
Contributions. Well said. And that is what we're going to do. And every well-meaning Liberian, always a Liberian, will always be a Liberian. God didn't make a mistake by you being a Liberian. So let's not forget that. Let's make sure we have our people, we have our country, and stand in the community of nations with pride and dignity. So this is how we go. We'll take leave of you today. Tomorrow, folks will be here. Our Top TV Media Sunday Gospel Show at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Follow us, share the link, and be a part of this noble, growing network, independent, free from all bias, political alignment. And this is what we do. Special shout out to all the guys, Top TV Media guys out there in Liberia. You're doing well, bringing the stories. As always, without you, there's no way we can do what we do. And also those of you here, the contributors here in the United States. Thank you very, very much for everything. And a special shout out to all our followers, our listeners, wherever we are. Thank you for following. It is for your business, because we are the voice for the voice. It is for you that we are here. So thank you. Until then, my 26 is on your.
Aguyaye.